This is hot off the press, both in terms of the deck itself, because I finished it this morning, and also the concept is like super new. We're going through this pain point as we speak. How many people are familiar with OLAS and the hackathon that's taking place on Gnosis chain right now? Okay, so this is coming out of basically working with Valerie on Autonomous and a bunch of other requests that have come down the pipe on the AI side of things. The other thing I need to point out is I'm from Nevermind, not Nethermind. I get that a lot, but we're not that smart. We're just working on AI and Web3. So this is me. I co-founded Ocean Protocol back in 2017 and then created a web services company called Kiko, where we incubated Nevermind and have been working on that for the last year and a half. So yeah, the topic of discussion is that payments in the AI space are proving to be quite difficult. If you look at AI developers, first off, they hate Web3, so don't bring it up. And almost exclusively, they're using Stripe for payments. Stripe has like a usage-based model for payments, but it's proving to fall short in terms of the variable pricing and the dynamics that are needed in order to enable these AI services or agents that are being created. I'm going to guess that most people here have tried ChatGPT, but has anybody actually tried to build an application that then other users are going to use? Have you tried monetizing or yeah? So it starts to become difficult when you have things like you want to optimize for the model that you're going to use, right? So the system of accounting, and that's what I'm going to get into, is where we come in. So if we look at sort of the anatomy of what we're building, this is an anatomy of an app itself, not just like here throw in a prompt and get a response. So what you will have is a data set, and what you probably do is vectorize that and put it into an index or a vector DB, and then the LLM or the diffusion model or whatever will source from that vector DB and provide a response. And depending on what model you use, you can get slight variations on those inferences. The question then becomes, how do you pay for that? So if you're an app developer and you want to optimize for price, you have to look and see what's the input and then determine is, say, a GPT 3.5 sufficient in the process for creating the inference, or do I need 3.5 turbo, or do I need GPT-4 or 4 turbo? Do I need multimodality? What do I need to handle? Each of these, the same goes for Claude from Anthropic and every other permutation of these LLMs or diffusion models that are being leveraged. And they all have different pricing structures. So as an app developer, the question becomes, how do I manage the usage of these services in a way that I don't end up having to subsidize my users when they're using my application? And what we're seeing happen, in particular in the case of the guys at Valerie building OLAS and doing this hackathon, is that right now the issue is that the pricing is generally static. I'm going to charge you $5 a month for my service. Now, in some cases, that's sufficient, but in other cases, it might be grossly out of proportion. You might be charging way too much for those services, or more often than not, you're not charging enough. So again, Valerie, they're paying out of pocket for these services. MathGPT, another example, paying out of pocket for these services. When you look at the strictly speaking AI space that aren't using the dynamics of Web3 payments, MathGPT is a good example. Using Stripe, the Stripe only goes so far. It lets you purchase a credit, but it doesn't account for how that credit is used. And so it's this, I don't know where the pointer is, but it's the inventory management piece that is becoming sort of an opportunity to address the pain point that these builders are facing. And these are the things that we've identified that need to be addressed in order to meet the needs of AI builders that are emerging. You need to have a credits issuance system that can take either cash through, say, Stripe or crypto. You then need to have a mechanism for redeeming these credits for the service that you're rendering. And from that redemption, you need to keep track of what your users are actually using. We have a solution. We've built a marketplace. And as part of that marketplace, we have what we call smart subscriptions, which allow you to effectively mint these credits, set the price for minting those credits, set the either number of requests that each of those credits can make to an AI service, or the time with which those credits are valid, or a combination of the two. And through the magic of blockchain and smart contracts, we provide a pretty elegant back end to start to manifest that system of account or unit accounting on these credits, so that a Jose Manuel at MathGPT doesn't have to create that back end himself, or an Algo Vera doesn't need to create that back end accounting system themselves, or a Valerie and Autonomous team doesn't need to do it. This is sort of conceptually how this will manifest. These organizations will be able to go to Nevermind and create their own subscription tiers and set the price for the particular credits for each tier, append the services that are available to each tier, and the access parameters, number of requests, or the time period, et cetera, and deploy those to their application. It's integrated with Stripe, soon to be integrated with Safe and Gnosis Pay. But yeah, this is what we're working on. This is one of the very acute challenges that's emerging on the AI front, and how we're tackling the problem in, I think, a very novel way, leveraging all of the benefits of Web3, but combining that with some of the scaling aspects of Web2 to meet the demands of this new emergent ecosystem. So if I just want to also take a look at where things might go. If we look out on the time horizon, and this is more for maybe the Web3 skeptics in the room, which I know there probably aren't any, but when I'm talking to AI people, there always are. Why would we use Web3? I think as we project outwards in the time horizon, we're looking at a scenario where, part of the reason why we use a store of value in fiat or crypto is because our Dunbar number is super low. We suck at making connections, whereas an AI likely won't have nearly the same limitations. So establishing the network connections for an AI will be super simple, to the point where they'll just trade potentially in their services, and we're looking at a massive, scalable bartering system. And also with the subscriptions that we're going to have on offer for these different application builders, these credits themselves start to resemble tokens from a classical crypto sense, and shower thought is maybe we're on the precipice of an AI CO or artificial coin offering solution. This is more marketing and hype. But yeah, this is where we're going. Questions?
Any questions? Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Thanks. On the pricing, I know that's example pricing, but it looked like a relatively aggressive expiry policy on the credits. I was
Sure.
just curious about that.
Oh, yeah. This is the beauty of what we're building. We're moving away from, where these applications are sort of restricted by the service offerer. Is anybody familiar with like OpenRouter or, okay, anyway, that duration is set by the application builder. They're just examples. I could have put X, Y, and Z up there, but yeah, just to kind of, be provocative and give an example of what you can do. But those metrics on there, the parameters that you would set for price, duration, number of requests, those are all up to the application builder to set. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. Thanks.
Do we have any other questions in the room?
So the solution is live. The packaging is in flight. So it can't be used yet. You could use it if you wanted to, if you had. It is being used. Sorry. The question was, is this live? So the guys at Valerie are testing it out right now.